On today's video, I want to talk to you about flirting. What is flirting? Flirting is, in essence, tension. Tension between you and the woman, sexual tension. This idea of not being sure if the person likes you or doesn't like you, is there interest? Maybe there's a little bit of a disinterest. And think about the idea of what flirting means too, right? It's like a light touch, like flirting with death, right? It's like you're almost there, but you're not actually there. So flirting with another woman is showing that interest and disinterest almost all at the same time. And you're doing that through your words, through your actions. But on today's video, I'm going to be telling you how you can do it with your words and some of my favorite flirty lines that show exactly that tension, and that's how you're going to build it. What you have to understand about flirting as well is that flirting is not happening every single second of every single moment in the interaction that you're having. In between flirting, there has to be some normal conversation. And that normal conversation gives you the time where you can do flirting. So if you're having trouble with keeping conversation going, knowing what to say, and getting her invested in the conversation, you can get for free my video called Chick Crack, where I teach you the topics of conversation that women really respond to. And it goes really well with this video because when you learn how to have conversations that women respond to, then you can have those moments where you can enter in flirting and some of the flirting lines that I'll be teaching you today. Check that out. It's free. It's down in the description below. Now let's get to those lines. Now you understand what flirting actually is. I love saying to a woman, "You're totally wrong," or something like, "You're the worst." Like there's something wrong about what you're saying, or you're totally wrong in the way that you're being. So that's what you say to her, right? You say to her, "No, you're totally wrong. No, you're totally the worst." And I know this is out of context, but you will say something like that to her after she's talking to you about whatever. Doesn't even matter what the topic is. It doesn't even matter if it even makes sense. That's the beauty of flirting. What makes it kind of easy is you can say some of these lines and just say this because you're just being fun and you're just teasing and you're just making jokes. You can just say it out of nowhere even if you really want to. No, you're totally wrong. Oh, you're the absolute worst. Now I must say, with a flirty line, this and some of the other ones I'm going to be sharing with you, you gotta have a smile on your face. This is a way to be more socially aware. If you don't have a smile on your face, which allows you to get away with more, it's going to come off as serious, and now we're not flirting anymore. Remember, flirting is interest and disinterest combined. So it's as if you're smiling by showing interest, but you're saying these words that show disinterest. And that's the beauty of how it all works together. Let's give you another line. One of my favorites of all time is saying to her any sort of phrase that you and her are just not going to work out. So you can literally say, "You know what, you and me, this is never going to work out." And again, you're doing it with a smile on your face. You're disqualifying her. So you're verbally disqualifying her, saying that you and her can't be an item. It's never going to work out for whatever reason. And you can see here that we're doing quite the opposite of what you might think you should be doing, like complimenting and saying nice things to her. Really, all of this is one big disqualification. So we're verbally disqualifying, we're verbally showing disinterest, but with our body language, with a little bit of a smile, it comes off in that flirty tone. "You and me, this is never going to work out." Wait, what? You're from where? You're from New York? New York? That's terrible. You and I, we're never going to work out. It's not even a great example, but it doesn't matter because you can use that literally with anything she says. "What? You don't like to cook? Okay, you and me, we're never going to work out." Wait, you don't have Hulu? You don't watch any shows on Hulu? They're amazing. Okay, you know what? You and I, we're never going to work out. I think you get the point here. Now, I know in the last two examples and what I've been talking about here is this mixture of interest and disinterest, putting it together, and that's flirtatious. But I have one that's an exception to the rule, one that actually shows more direct interest, but at least doing it in a classier way and not so obvious way. You know, the obvious way is, like I said earlier, giving compliments, all that stuff. But here's a really good line. So I'll tell you the line first, and then I'll tell you the context in which you're going to say it. So the line is simple. It's just "come here." Okay, that's it. Come here. So when would you say that to her? Maybe it's the end of the date. You guys are about to say goodbye. Maybe you're going to go in for a kiss. Instead, you can look her right in the eyes with that smile, that same smile, that little grin, and say, "Come here." You don't even have to direct her to actually walk over to you. You can still say that by going over to her. And again, this is something that you can use pretty much any time. So imagine she's over at your place, maybe you're cooking something, hanging out, you look at her and you go, come here. Just like that. That direct tone, that downward tonality, super flirty. If this girl likes you and you use that line and you use it appropriately, this is going to create so much butterflies in her stomach. It's going to send shivers down her spine. It's going to work. Not something that usually works if she doesn't already like you, but if we want to throw some gasoline on the fire, that's the way to do it. So try that one out. Come here. Can't even hold a conversation to be able to use some of these lines? Get chick crack. Man, you have to. It is crazy the kinds of results guys get when they're able to learn the kind of conversation topics that actually get her to respond to you. And then you can use those topics to intertwine with some of the flirting. And there's even ways that I teach you in that video that you can flirt with those topics. And again, we're flirting here to build that tension, which ultimately builds attraction. And the more attraction, the more investment she will have. And then you will be able to attract the kinds of women that you want. I hope that helps, and I'll see you on the next video.